Good evening. Is, Rod here?
Yes. Is he expecting you?
No.
Come in, please.
Thanks.
Your name, please?
Oh, Sandy. Sandra Weber.
Would you care to wait in there?
No, thank you. I'll wait here.
Mary? Mary?
Yes, sir.
Is that Mrs. Cord?
No, sir. It's a visitor for Mr. Rodney.
Who was it?
Sandra Weber, sir.
Bring me some hot coffee when you return.
Yes, sir.
Sandy?
Hello. There should be a picture up there. The wall looks so empty.
There was. My mother's.
Oh. I couldn't help but notice. The rest of the room is so nice. You look very handsome, Rod.
Thank you.
You got all that garage grease off. Lee used to scrub, and somehow there was always some left on.
What can I do for you?
Hey, don't we sound businesslike?
Well, I was, going out, Sandy.
Oh. Well, I thought maybe we could, talk for a minute.
Go ahead.
Some room. Rod, I don't know where to start. I'm so mixed up.
Get to the point.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. I came to you because I needed someone to talk to. I don't have anybody. Lee's in jail, and Chris is after me to testify against him, and I just don't know what to do. But you've been a big help, a great big help. So thanks, pal, for all your friendly advice, and I'll be on my way.
Sandy.
Let go of me.
Look.
Look, it was tough enough for me to come here without your looking at me as if I were nothing. It's something I'd expect from Lee, but not from you. Will you leave me alone?
What did you come here for?
Because I'm running after you.
Are you?
I was putting you on.
Would you come here if your husband wasn't in jail?
Maybe.
Okay, can I get you something? Some coffee or a drink?
I shouldn't have come.
Well, why did you?
I saw Lee today.
Well, he must have been glad to see you.
Yeah. I haven't been there since the hearing started.
How's he taking it?
Okay. At least he was taking it okay until I told him what happened between you and me. I couldn't help it, Rod.
That is the worst possible thing you could do.
I know. I mean, I know it now.
Well, what did you do it for?
I don't know. I just don't know anything. I went to see him after you left, and before I knew it, I was telling him.
Why, there was only one way he could take that.
I know he did. He let me know that's exactly what he expected from me and you. He hates you, Rod.
Yes, I know.
Ah, but you don't know how much. I didn't know until this afternoon when I was locked in that cell with him. It was like being with a caged animal. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, Lee slugged me many times, but I felt if he hit me then, he'd kill me. Then I realized it wasn't me he wanted to kill, it was you.
He's not gonna hurt anybody anymore. Not anymore.
You'll go free, Rod.
Never.
Oh, he feels it, he's sure. I feel it, too. Stephen Cord will get him off. And then he'll come after you.
Did you walk all the way over here to tell me that? If he does get out, it won't be tomorrow, Sandy.
You're right. But I really thought that's why I came over here to warn you. I honestly did.
Sandy.
No, let me finish. This afternoon when you... Well, it's been a long time since I've been held like that. Nice and gentle. I really felt good about it. Really good. Well, so I felt you were my friend, and I wanted to come here and tell you I was worried about you. Guess that was stupid.
No, it isn't.
Well, I guess I'd better go now.
Wait a minute. You don't have to walk back. I'll drive you.
No, that's okay. You don't have to.
I know I don't have to.
Rodney. Rodney, come here.
I'll be right with you. You wait in the car, all right?
Okay.
On the morning of Ann Howard's death, when your brother struck you, was this a usual or an unusual occurrence?
It had never happened before.
Was anyone else present?
My sister-in-law?
The defendant's wife?
Yes. Sandra Weber.
Now, when your brother left the house, when was it that you encountered him again?
In front of the drug...
Are you saying that you waited at the...
Chris, where have you been?
In Fowler's office. Why?
Well, why didn't you tell me about the ledge? The entire time you were arguing, saying we had to do something, you never said a word. Now, why didn't you once say to me, Sandy, I'm not guessing, I know, because I was there.
Look, Sandy, don't try to play lawyer. You haven't got the head for it.
Yes, but I do know one thing. You can say you've forgiven Lee all you want, but I know you haven't. They're just words.
Mr. Weber, I'm the bailiff, sir. You're a little early. There'll be at least another 45 minutes or so of recess.
Thank you.
So if you want to go for a cup of coffee or anything, you've got plenty of time.
I'm comfortable here.
Hello, Chris.
It's Mr. Cord. I'm very good at voices.
You could do better on court procedure.
What does that mean?
When court reconvenes, the judge will expect a clear witness stand.
Oh?
Yes, he'll ask formally for the proceedings to start, and when Mr. Fowler's finished with you, it'll be my turn.
Just like in law school.
Just.
Well, when it is your turn, I'll be ready for you, Mr. Cord. This time.
Why are you sitting here, Chris?
I'm waiting.
Well, there are rows of seats.
Well, this is mine today.
All right. Court isn't in session. There's no one to hear us now. But I've got to know the truth about what happened to my sister at the Bluff.
You heard what I said.
I heard what you said under oath. The judge heard what you said under oath. But now I have to ask you.
Why?
Because I'm good on voices too, Chris. Now, would you like to tell me the truth? Would you like to tell it to me?
Here's what I did, Sandy. I took Cord's case and I laid it out in my mind. I knew all his strong points, all his weak points, and I was emotionally tuned to perfection. I was like a fighter who had trained just right. You know what I mean? I mean, I was ready for Stephen Cord. But what kills me, though, is that little edge of politeness he uses, his courtroom etiquette. It hides the fact that he's out for blood every time he gets some poor, unsuspecting soul on that stand.
Come on, Chris, let's go.
The technique of surprise, Sandy. Very important, very important. It's Cord's whole technique. His whole style in that courtroom is built upon his ability to insinuate, to use certain words, his phraseology. But did I have some surprises for him? It wasn't his show this time, not by a long shot.
Yeah, you were really cool, Chris.
I'd like to have seen his face. Just once, I'd like to have seen his expression.
You made him sweat, all right.
I bet I did. I could feel him sweat. Funny how you can feel things when you can't see them. Compensation, they call it.
You hungry?
Speaking of feeling, this house feels rotten.
What did you expect?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm just letting off steam.
That's okay.
You know, Sandy, you haven't said much to me ever since we were in court. Weren't you impressed?
Look, Chris, you don't fool me. All that stuff you were saying about technique and surprises. We both know what you did in that court.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Come off it, Chris. You may have fooled the judge with all that talk about justice, but this is me, Sandy. You lied. You sat in that witness chair and told lie after lie.
Listen, Lee killed Ann Howard, and you know it as well as I do.
How can you be so sure? He blinded you. You're trying to get even with him.
It is not like that at all.
Maybe so. Maybe you can make it fair and square in your mind. But when the judge and Mr. Fowler and Stephen Cord find out, they're going to call it something else. They'll call it perjury.
I did what I had to do.
They can fix it so you'll never become a lawyer. Was it worth it?
Yes, it was worth it. He's got to be stopped from destroying people. Ann Howard, me, you, somebody's got to stop him.
But why you?
Because nobody else will.
Hi.
Do you work here all the time?
All the time.
I bet you meet a lot of people.
Yeah. Crossroads of the world.
Do you know a girl named Rita? Rita Harrington.
What if I do?
I just wondered. She's a friend of mine.
Yeah, I know a girl named Rita Harrington.
Does she work down on the wharf?
You sure are good friends, aren't you?
Oh, yes. She's married. She's married to a man named Norman. And Norman's still going to school, and they don't have a baby.
No, she doesn't work here on the wharf, but her mother has a tavern here.
I'll bet I could go and ask her, couldn't I?
Yeah, sure could.
But a lot of people go in there, don't they?
Yeah, they do pretty good business.
Well, Rita's mother's probably awfully busy anyway. Do you have hamburgers here?
Yeah?
Here, give me the mop.
Hey!
No, I'll finish up for you, and you can go get me a hamburger.
You sure are hungry, aren't you? Okay, come on.
I'll finish up for you.
No, that's all right. Sit down.
There's the silver, Sandy.
Oh, good, Charlie. I was just going to put something on the grill.
Good.
Hey!
What's with her?
Hey, Betty.
Oh, hello, Sandy.
You look real sharp. What is that, one of those new synthetics?
Oh, it's a blend.
Ah, some slob. The cider barrel spattered ketchup all over me. I'm a mess.
Try cold water.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing in our part of town? Slumming?
I'm, admiring the quaint atmosphere. Oh, come on, Sandy. This is my town, too, remember? I'm shopping.
Oh, you're gonna have one of those fancy dinner parties like they show in all the magazines?
Well, I'm giving a dinner party. I don't know how fancy it's going to be.
Well, I've got to hand it to you. You sure are at home with all that kind of thing. I told Rod the other night when I was up at the Peyton house that I felt like I was in some kind of a museum.
You did?
Yes, he just laughed at me and said it's just like any other house, except it's hotter in the summertime and colder in the winter. But I guess that didn't bother you when you were living there.
What are you trying to say, Sandy? That you're involved with Rod now? Is that your point?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way.
Oh, yes, you would to someone else. Now, you want me to know about Rod and you? Well, I already know. I saw you riding around with him the other night.
Well, what's wrong with him driving me home?
Nothing. Nothing as long as your husband approves. Now, you are still married, aren't you? Tommy. These will keep overnight, won't they?
Well, it'd be better if you cook them first. Then you could stick them under the broiler for a few minutes.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm still married. The same as you were when you went to visit Rod in the garage.
Look, Sandy, I've got a lot to do this afternoon before I meet my husband. So if you'll just excuse me, please.
Well, as they say in France, bon appetit.
Hi.
Well, thanks for the big hello. I brought you your sandwiches.
Told you I'd come over and get them.
I know, but I figured you'd be busy, and I thought I'd save you the trip.
How much do I owe you?
$3.75, but I can put it on the tab.
That's all right. I'd rather pay up.
Well, how do you like my dress?
It's very nice, Sandy.
Rod.
What?
Nothing.
Look, Sandy.
I know it's wrong.
Well, then why do you...
Because I just can't seem to stay away from you. Hi.
Hi.
Did he tip you?
Charlie? What?
Rodney, did he tip you for transporting his lunch with such tender, loving care?
Oh, shut up, Chris.
You know, I'm surprised you didn't stick around and feed him bite by bite, personally.
Well, in case you're interested, the lunch was for both he and Norman. They're working late.
Oh, well, Norman would always take a walk if Rodney asked him to. Little brothers are like that.
Well, Chris, maybe you've just taken one too many walks for your big brother Lee, but don't take it out on me. I've got a lot of living to do, and I intend to do it.
Obviously. Okay, Sandy. But I'd like to ask you one little question. Aren't you the slightest bit worried about what Brother Lee might do if he gets out of this and doesn't stand trial? What he might do to his sweet, petite spouse when he finds out she's been tagging along with a guy he hates?
Well, I should think you're the one that should be worried. You testified against him.
I am, believe me. Isn't it fun to have a psychopath in the family? It makes life so unpredictable.
Anyway, I know he'll stand trial.
Why, because Stephen Cord botched it with old man Peyton?
Well, you heard the judge fine him for being in contempt of court. Now, you can't goof things up much more than that.
True. Maybe the counselor's magnificent self-control was blown sky high, but don't get too confident. One strikeout doesn't lose a ball game. Stephen could still pull it out of the fire.
I was watching the judge, and I don't think he likes Lee. I saw the way he was looking at him.
Oh, come off it, Sandy. At this point, Lee's got at least a 50-50 chance of getting out of this, maybe more, and you're still quietly delivering sandwiches to Rodney.
He ordered them.
Well, did he order you to deliver them personally, or was that something you thought up yourself? Listen, Sandy, this is straight. You're kidding yourself. Rodney is not about to get involved with you, and you've got to face that.
So what do you know? Do you think I'm that hard to look at?
I'm sure you're the bloom on the vernal rose, but not to him. And I'd hate to see you get thrown over or maybe even knocked around by Lee for nothing. And believe me, Rodney Harrington's not going to champion your cause if Lee knocks you from here to Wednesday.
We'll see.
You'll see. I'll just hear the groans.
Oh, you're funny. But it's my problem, okay?
Okay.
Well, let me fix you some dinner. Charlie made some hot tamales.
I might as well. I won't be able to eat them after I get my ulcer, which at this rate should be next week.
Cord just went up to the boarding house.
So?
Well, I find it a little weird. I mean, Mrs. Hewitt has not been able to rent Anne's room because nobody wants it.
The Haunted Boarding House by Sandra Weber.